Ever wondered what really separates a business you forget from one you're loyalty for life? Well, it might not be what you think. Today, we're going to dive into how some of the simplest human gestures can turn a basic professional relationship into a powerful source of real, lasting trust. So let's just start with a really direct question. I want you to think about your clients, your customers. Do they feel genuinely valued by you, or do they kind of feel like they're just another number being pushed through your system? The answer to that question is really at the heart of building a business that can actually go the distance. And that right there brings us to our first big idea: getting past the simple transaction. Look, business is transactional, right? At its core, money gets exchanged for a product or a service. That's just how it works. But the people who really truly succeed, they get that the transaction is just the starting line. The real, sustainable success, that's built on the genuine human connection that happens after the sale. And this brings us to what is maybe the most important principle of this whole approach: the incredible power of just being seen. This quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? It's the foundation of any strong relationship, professional or personal. When people feel like you see them, like you recognize them as an individual, a bond of trust starts to form almost immediately. It taps into this powerful need we all have for reciprocity. When someone does something thoughtful for you, you can't help but feel this urge to return that kindness. And there's actually a name for putting this into practice. It's called milestone marketing. And listen, this isn't about complicated sales funnels or big ad budgets. Nope. It's just the simple act of noticing and celebrating the big moments in a person's life to show that you actually care about them beyond the business they give you. And that is what makes this so incredibly powerful. Milestone marketing takes a client from just being a data point, a number on a spreadsheet, and turns them into a real person. In a world that's getting more and more automated, it's a powerful reminder that there's a human being on the other side of that email and that you see them. And we're not talking about anything complicated here. Really, it's about small, thoughtful gestures. Think about it: a simple birthday card that actually shows up on their birthday, a quick note to say, hey, congrats on the work anniversary, or a message cheering on a promotion, or a card for a new home. These little things, these small touch points, carry a surprising amount of emotional weight. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds nice, maybe a little fluffy, but does it actually work in the real world? Well, let's look at a story that really says it all. So you have this business owner, right? And he decides he's going to stop just thinking about appreciating his clients and actually start doing it. So he starts consistently sending out cards for birthdays, for new homes, for promotions, all those little milestones in life. And the response he got was just incredible. Clients started calling him up just to say thank you. But one piece of feedback really stood out. A client told him that his card was the only one he received for his birthday that year. Just imagine that for a second. The impact of that single gesture. In that one moment, he stopped being just a service provider. He became the one person who remembered. So what was the business outcome? This wasn't just about creating warm, fuzzy feelings. This simple, heartfelt system generated a steady, reliable stream of new referrals. Why? Because that one gesture built trust, and trust is the most powerful currency in business, period. It turned his clients into advocates who actively wanted to send people his way. So the lesson here is just crystal clear. It's not about one huge, expensive gesture. It's about the small, consistent acts of appreciation that build on each other over time to create something unbelievably strong. Okay, so the why is obvious. The power is clear. But how do you actually do this without it just becoming another thing on your to-do list? Let's break it down into a really simple, actionable plan. It's really just a straightforward 4-step process. First, you've got to track the dates that matter. Second, you have to act on them consistently. Third, use tools to make it easy on yourself. And fourth, and this one is absolutely crucial, you have to stay authentic. None of this works if it feels fake or forced. It has to come from a real place. Let's just talk about consistency for a second, because let's be real, life gets busy. This is where using a system can make all the difference. The source material for this actually mentions a service like Send Out Cards, which basically helps automate the process so you can stay thoughtful and consistent without adding a mountain of stress to your plate. So when you put all of this together, what's the ultimate payoff? Well, it's a fundamental shift in how your business relationships work from the ground up. This slide really shows that huge shift. On one side, you have that old transactional mindset. It's all about the purchase, the short-term gain, and it feels pretty generic. But on the other side, you've got the relational mindset. Here, the focus is on the person. The goal is long-term trust, and every single interaction feels personal. At the end of the day, this strategy is so effective because it taps into something deeply human. A simple, thoughtful card builds trust way faster than any sales pitch ever could. It turns your clients into loyal advocates who genuinely want you to succeed, and it creates these positive, memorable moments that people will always connect back to you and your business. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. What relationships in your life, professional or otherwise, could you totally transform just by starting to notice the moments that matter? The moments are happening anyway. The only real question is whether or not you'll choose to be a part of them.